Hi guys, welcome to today's Southeast Creatives presentation. My name is Bex Bell and I'm here to talk to you about how to use Instagram for business. So I'm going to take you through a presentation where I talk about the basics of utilising Instagram for business and how to have success in finding your audience, selling your product and growing your platform. So let's start with a little screen share. There we go. So hopefully you can now see my screen. So to start with, who am I? So first of all, welcome to my kitchen. This is not my normal office, but as we're all working through different times, hopefully you're watching me from your kitchen. My name is Bex Bell and I am a digital marketing consultant based in the Southeast, specifically in Folkestone, Kent. I work with small local businesses and larger businesses on growing their online platforms. Instagram is one of my specialities, but I work across the digital marketing space. So I'm going to be talking to you about how to use Instagram for small business specifically, and today is focused mostly on the basics of working with Instagram for business. Now, I know a lot of people will associate with Instagram connecting with friends or online influencers, and that's not what I'm here today to talk to you about. What I'm actually here to talk to you about is how useful Instagram is for selling yourself, selling your business, and expanding your customer base. So broadly speaking, today I'm going to be talking about why Instagram is or isn't the perfect platform for this, how to set up your Instagram business profile, quick wins to find a local audience, how content is king but planning is the key, and some FAQs and recommendations. Now, this is a pre-recorded Zoom call, which actually is quite a lot weirder than doing a live Zoom call because it's just me sat alone talking to myself. But if you do have any questions at the end of this presentation, I will include my details and I'm more than happy to talk you through anything that I've talked about today or any further questions that you will have. So the first question that people always ask me is Instagram right for me? Do I need Instagram? And the answer is not necessarily. Instagram isn't right for everyone. Instagram isn't right for every business. But Instagram can be incredibly useful. 60% of people discover new products on Instagram and 200 million people visit Instagram business profiles daily. 67% of customers are more likely to buy from businesses they follow on social. And this is particularly useful for local businesses because you are growing a local audience who are going to be able to find your business locally. You're going to increase your foot traffic, you're going to increase your presence online, and it's great for growing a loyal customer base. But in order to think about that, you need to consider if it's right for your audience. So who are they and where are they online? And I will talk a little bit more about audience profiling, but generally speaking, if you're trying to reach 50-year-old blokes, Instagram might not be the right platform for you. But that being said, there are more audience bases than just 20-year-old fashionistas. So know your goals online. This relates to understanding how your audience use social media and the types of content that they interact with. So think about the people that you want to talk to, look at the types of content that they're working with, and think about what you're trying to achieve online. So if you're trying to reach more of a local audience, if you're trying to find more followers online, then you need to look at what they're looking for. What are they engaging with online? And I'll talk about this again with the audience profiling in a second. But most importantly, in order to succeed, you need strategy and content. So simply put, Instagram is a visual first platform. There has been a significant move towards using Instagram stories, which are the little videos that you will see across the top of Instagram, as opposed to your Instagram feed content. But strong feed content is important to the success of your account. This doesn't mean that you need the most immaculately manicured Instagram feed profile, but what it does mean is that you need to have the time and the attitude towards creating content for your platform. First and foremost, quick setup advice. So if you don't already have an Instagram business account, some quick housekeeping rules for setting that up. So ensure your name is your business name. By name, I mean your handle. So your @ handle across the top should be your business name. I know often, particularly for smaller business owners who convert from potentially a personal platform to a professional one, I strongly recommend that you set up a separate professional account or that you convert your account. Try and keep your business name the same across all of your social platforms. So the handle should be reflective across Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you're using. Set up a Instagram business account. So in settings, you can change your account to a business account. And what that means is you have access to better analytics, and you're also able to add your business hours, your location, and your phone number, which is the information that people need in the local area to find you, talk to you, and whenever you're allowed to reopen, come inside. Ensure that your bio is clear and succinct. So your bio is the details that sits across the top of your Instagram account that tells everyone what you do. You can use bullets to break down elements, or you can just have a short description, but tell people who you are, what you're doing, and why you're there. And of course, add your website, or you can use a service like Linktree. So Instagram offers you the option of sharing your website address. You can push people to your website, or you can use a service like Linktree, which offers you the option of multiple links where you can send people to an Etsy account, you could send people to a Facebook account, you can send them to a YouTube channel, but you can add a couple of different links from that one link. So as I have already mentioned, the biggest thing to consider about Instagram is who your audience are. So this section is all about quick wins to find and expand that audience. So first of all, you need to identify your target audience. Now, I've said here specifically, write a profile on your Instagram customer. And this is because whenever I would create audience profiles for a client, they're not going to look the same across every social platform. The same members or the same audiences are not going to be across every single platform. The people who are on Twitter aren't going to be the people who are on Instagram. So a tailored approach to each platform is useful. You need to specifically think about the audience that you have or could have on Instagram, who they are, where they are, what they're looking for, what are they talking about, and what are their interests. So think about the type of person as your customer base who is likely to be on Instagram, and what are they there for. So they might not be looking for your business. They probably aren't looking for your business, but what they might be looking for is inspiration for their home. They might be looking for connecting with friends, to finding local areas to explore. They might be looking for you to solve a problem for them. But find out what they're talking about and find out how to get involved in that conversation. And a way to do that is with seeders and centres of influence. Now, I've also included competitors in there because it's incredibly useful to see what your competitors are doing, any successes they're having, and anything that you want to replicate or not replicate in terms of the way that they're engaging with their audience online. Now, seeders and centres of influence are really useful because these are people who would be in your audience or customer base who have an effect over a wider area. So seeders would be anyone who you know or you found online who has the ability to seed your message. So in the same way that a farmer might sow their seeds in a field, they have the ability to disseminate what you're talking about. So they're the people who at grassroots level are likely to talk about your business, share your business, tag your business. Centres of influence are those who have authority within the topic or business area that you're engaged with. So, for example, if you're creating a new business in Kent, you might look specifically at somewhere like Southeast Creatives, who already have authority within the area, but also looking at local business groups, also companies or press companies like BBC Radio Kent, who might be willing to share your message. Use hashtags. So I think most people are vaguely aware of how hashtags work. Hashtags, you can use up to 30 per post. There is plenty of room for experimentation. So within that 30, you don't have to use the same hashtags every time. I often create a tag Bible where I will explore larger hashtags, but also more local and niche hashtags. So for example, something like hashtag Folkestone might help you find someone in the local Folkestone area. Hashtag Urban Jungle might help you find inspirations for plants that you can use within your home, or you could just go with hashtag plant. Now, hashtag plant is obviously quite a widely used hashtag. You're not going to show up there. So I recommend using local and niche hashtags to grow an attentive audience. Now, I mean, I could talk to you about this for about 3 hours, but there are different ways to explore local hashtags and to explore niche hashtags, to join campaign hashtags, to have your own hashtags. I recommend tracking and reporting on the hashtags that you're using and how you're engaging with your followers. You can also use location tagging. This is not the same as hashtags, and when you upload an image to Instagram, it offers you the option of sharing your location. You can do this on your own pictures, but you can also explore the local area to see who is currently sharing images within Folkestone or within the wider area. So you can click on the location hashtag to explore within the local area. And that leads me to engage. And this is absolutely critical to growing your audience, because people aren't going to be there and aren't going to know you're there unless you let them know that you're there. So yes, absolutely, hashtags are great for people to discover you, but also you need to go out and talk to people. You can't just post content out and hope that people come and find you. And I would like to caveat this with, please don't follow unfollow, which is, I know, a strategy that some people use to grow their local or wider audience by following as many people as possible and then swiftly unfollowing them. It's not a particularly professional approach to take, and it doesn't grow you a strong audience are. So find where your audience are and the conversations that they're invested in, and join in with those conversations. Potentially also engage with your competitors' followers. So look to see the people that your competitors are already talking to and give their photos a little like, get involved in the topics that they're talking about. Niche hashtags are the best way to tap into a community. So Southeast Creatives will have its own hashtag, but there are wider creative hashtags within Folkestone, and it's a good way to start having a conversation. Strategy is incredibly important, because I think for Instagram, a lot of the times you get exactly the same thing that any creators will have. It's a fear of the blank page, and it's a fear of, is this the right thing to post? Should I be posting this right now? Should I have posted that last week? Is this a bit too late? Is that the right thing to post right now? Am I using the right hashtags? So I strongly recommend you create a content base and a plan and strategize. Planning shouldn't be off-putting. Planning should be a way to create content without that fear of the blank page. So when I say create a content base, have a Google Drive or have a folder on your computer, on your phone, where you start storing imagery, where you start storing quotes or information that you want to share. But strategize with your content and know what you want to talk about and what you want to achieve. So planning should structure what you're sharing. Think about telling a story or solving a problem. So are you talking to people about the way that your business develops? As I mentioned before, some people convert from an independent person to becoming a business. Don't just talk about your product, talk about the story behind your business, talk about what inspires you, talk about what motivates you, what motivates your product. Or solve a problem. So maybe your product is the perfect thing that actually is gonna bring joy to people's lives, or is gonna provide a solution. You know, again, I'm gonna take you back to my little plant over my shoulder. We can talk about bringing colour into a home. Yes, that's great imagery, but we can also start talking about, you know, bringing oxygen, bringing light into the home, and how to improve your workspace. Maybe as a plant company, you'd want to talk about people's office spaces at home. You know, everyone's just moved home and everyone's just in this moment where they're working from their kitchen, and actually you want to create the best environment possible to work from. So tell a story, solve a problem. Don't just think about pushing sales, think about what your audience wants to talk about. Use user-generated content. I've got a great example of this bottom right-hand side. The White Rabbit Pizza Company are one of my favourite pizza companies. I eat a lot of their pizza. But also they're a great Instagram account because they really, really utilise to the best of their ability user-generated content, influencer content, competitions. They use a whole host of various different content to really grow their market and grow their niche. They started out as a small independent company and they've grown to be very popular. Now, bottom right hand side, you've got a post from Veg Time there. So White Rabbit obviously sent them out a pizza to trial. They've shared this image of their pizza. It's actually a gallery with a couple of different pictures. White Rabbit then share the pictures they've created back out. They tag Veg Time, but they also get the content to share on their feed, but they also show their audience that they're engaging with the audience, and that actually maybe if you tag White Rabbit with their pizza, then they're likely to share your work. And people love validation on social platforms. People love seeing their pictures reshared. So the more that you tell people or show people you're willing to reshare their content, the more likely they are to share content with you And ultimately this eases your work. You know, one of the biggest client struggles I know is, how do I create more content? How do I find more things to share? And this is a great way of doing it. And importantly, track and report on your successes and failures. So understand what's working for you and what isn't. And I mentioned this before when I was talking about hashtags, when I mentioned making sure that you are understanding what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Make sure that you are reporting on your successes and your failures so you can best understand exactly what's working best. Final tips. So this has been a really quick whiz through on how to get started and how to share content as a business. But these are some things that I think are really important and are the most valid things for me to pass on as learnings. And my biggest one is ignore vanity metrics. Please, please, please don't push to have 5,000 followers and have 10,000 followers. Don't encourage the world and their wife to follow you on social if they're not relevant to you, because actually it's better to have 500 people who really care and are really engaged in your business than 5,000 who don't care. One, because it's much more useful for the algorithm. So on Instagram, your content is served to a small selection of your audience. If they respond positively to it, it's more likely to appear higher up in the feeds of other members of your audience. So every single person who sees your content should find it valuable to them in order for it to be shared wider. So it's actually better for you to have 30 people who care than 200 who it's a friend of a brother who you got to like your page, because then liking your page is not enough. They need to be engaged. So choose a small, passionate tribe over a mass crowd. And on that level, yes, use influencer marketing. So I know I said at the start of this, I'm not here to preach influencer marketing as it's now known, but think really micro. Think who is important to you and who is important to your audience. If you're a small local business, this doesn't have to be someone with more than 1,000 followers, but it should be someone that you care about and your audience care about, and find those people who might be interested in your product and then engage with them. Now this could be, you know, asking them to try something for free. This could be inviting them in to meet you. This could be just getting involved in the conversations that they're talking about. But really go micro, you know, really think about your local area. It doesn't have to be someone with 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 followers. It can be someone with 1,000. But if that's 1,000 people who care about what that person's saying, then that's 1,000 people who could be interested in your business. Use video. Now, I know a lot of people either feel like they don't have the capacity or the technical understanding to create video, but this is where Instagram stories are great. They don't have to be polished or perfect, but they can be engaging. You know, people are engaging more and more in Instagram video. I will watch Instagram videos in the morning whilst I'm brushing my teeth. I click through people's stories. And it's a really nice way to get kind of an insight into the back end of the business, because it doesn't have to be polished and perfect like your feed. It can just be you talking about your business and the way that your business runs, or giving a little insight into some behind the scenes of, I don't know, you're a local coffee company and this is how you press your coffee in the morning, or, you know, this is your favorite local producer. But just create engaging content that draws people in. Host a competition. So in fact, if I click you back here, this is a great example from White Rabbit, who've worked with Little Moons Mochi. So they've created a collaborative competition where, in order to win, I think a pizza and some ice cream, basically, all you have to do is like the post, follow both accounts, and possibly share it. Now, there's some great elements in there that encourage people to engage with both producers, but also to share to their followers and to grow their audience. I will say, make sure you follow promotion guidelines. I'm happy to send those out to anyone, but they're available on the Instagram platform. But maybe work with another local producer, host a collaborative competition, and it will help to grow both your audiences. Now, my biggest frequently asked question is, do I need to spend money? Do I need to pay for Instagram ads? And the answer is not necessarily, but they do work with relatively low level spend. So you do not need to spend money on Instagram to grow your audience, but it's becoming increasingly difficult for businesses to potentially gain traction without doing so. I think with very low level spend, you can really, really have some great results. There's some great ROI. You just need to be specific with your targeting. So really think about exactly who you're trying to reach, and set that up within your Instagram ads. And last but not least, is there a perfect time to start? Do I have to have everything in place? No, I don't think there is a perfect time to start. I think if you're a small local business who's looking to get going on Instagram, and you want to find your perfect way of doing it, come and speak to me, obviously. But I think just get started. I think start thinking about who your audience are, make a plan, strategize, and then create your account and get going. Hopefully go through the entire presentation that I've just shared with you, and that should help you from start to finish setting up your account. But the bottom line is you need great content, enthusiasm, and you need to engage. I think engagement is the biggest thing I would take from this, if you take anything. That's it from me. If you have any questions, you can email me. I am bex@bexbell.com, nice and straightforward. That is it from me today on Instagram for Business, the basics. If you have any more questions, please ping them over to me. I will be available to chat, and I hope that was useful. Thanks for joining me today.